Margaret here. I'm 50 years old, and I won't be modest about it. I'm gorgeous. With my blonde hair, curvy hips, and large breasts, I catch everyone's eye the moment I walk into a room. I'm also not shy about showing myself off. I love wearing low-cut outfits that turn heads. And one night, I experienced something with a man much younger than me that changed everything. Let me tell you about those fiery moments. Everything started about 6 months ago. The business world was dragging me down, disputes with a major partner, endless meetings with lawyers, looming court cases. It was utter chaos, and I couldn't cope anymore. That's when I ended up in a bar completely unlike my usual scene. I'd just come from a very elegant event. I was wearing a long black dress with lace details, and beneath it a dark red satin corset that shaped my body like an hourglass. Balancing on high heels was tough, especially with my hair in a glamorous updo. A diamond necklace and chandelier earrings completed the look. Some would say I looked seductive, but honestly, I just wanted to forget my worries. The bar was dim and hazy. Stale cigarette smoke and alcohol hung in the air. I took a seat at the far end of the counter. In a dull voice, I told the bartender, "Give me your strongest drink." He handed over glass after glass, and I drank them as if they were my only escape. After a while, my head started spinning. I closed my eyes, feeling every sip burn my throat. Then I heard coarse laughter. 3 rough-looking men stood near me, staring with leering smiles. One spoke, "Hey, sweetie, too much to drink, or need some company?" Another leaned in to touch my shoulder. I wanted to get up, but my legs were numb from the alcohol. My mind was foggy, and I couldn't shake off their unwanted attention. When one of them reached toward my hip, my heart pounded with rage. Just as I was about to stand and scream, or cause a scandal, I felt a firm hand at my back. An instant later came the dull thud of a punch. One of those men staggered. The owner of that hand glared at the others, sending them a clear warning. That's when I saw him for the first time. Miller. He wore a black leather jacket, tight jeans, and had this aura that instantly grabbed my attention. One part of me screamed, "He can't be more than 20. What are you doing?" Another part whispered, "You haven't felt this spark in years." Embarrassment collided with a rush of excitement. Miller scared them off without a real fight. Then he turned to me, his voice calm and reassuring. "Are you all right?" I managed a faint, "No." He said, "Let me take you home." Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't have trusted a total stranger, especially one who looked 30 years younger, but I simply nodded. I was in no condition to drive. He slipped his jacket over my shoulders, noticing my trembling. We reached my house. Once Miller shut the door behind us, everything happened at lightning speed. My body felt like it was on fire. He helped me stand, then leaned down to remove my shoes, his hands brushing against my legs. In that moment, our eyes met, and something powerful surged between us. I didn't care about tomorrow's consequences, only that I was truly alive and burning with desire. He pressed me gently against the wall and kissed me. I'm not someone who normally surrenders to youthful impulsiveness, but Miller's kiss seemed to pull me out of all my disappointment and frustration. My dress slipped away under his hands, and I was left breathless. We shed our clothes in a trail from the hallway to the living room. I was intoxicated, not just from the alcohol, but from a deeper, more profound need. That night felt endless. Wild kisses in the living room, our hearts racing on the couch, finally making it to the bedroom. Every nerve in my body tingled, and neither of us could stand to be apart for even a second. We explored each other until morning, losing ourselves in the heat of the moment. I still remember Miller's soft whispers calling my name, He made Margaret sound like a sweet lullaby, filling up the emptiness inside me. The sun rose, and I watched him lying there, the early light catching his face. After I started brewing coffee, he came up behind me, arms slipping around my waist, lips against the back of my neck. My skin tingled again, like a dream I never wanted to wake up from. I expected it all to end the next morning, but a week later, as I juggled endless tasks at work, my phone rang. It was Miller, calling from another bar. "Can I see you?" he asked. A strange thrill raced through me. Though I would normally have declined, I said yes. I changed into a simple sweater, tight pants, and short-heeled boots, left a vague excuse with my lawyer, and hurried out. Our second date took place somewhere calmer, a spot I chose. "Won't you get bored here?" I asked, worried it was too tame for him. He smiled. "I won't get bored if you're there." Hearing that from someone his age sent a jolt through my heart. The 30-year gap between us hovered in the back of my mind. What does it mean for a 50-year-old woman to be with a 20-year-old man? But that night, I stopped overthinking and let myself drown in his gaze. A major confrontation soon erupted with my ex-husband, Richard, who still had a stake in my business. One evening, we both attended a formal dinner, and I brought Miller. He drew plenty of attention. Young, stylish, confident. Of course, Richard noticed. "Margaret," he demanded icily, "who's this with you?" "My boyfriend," I replied, unwavering. He looked outraged, muttering something about me losing my mind. But to my own surprise, I no longer cared about his opinion. Over time, Miller and I realized that the age gap wasn't our only challenge. He thrived in bars, clubs, and spontaneous motorcycle rides at night, while I had corporate meetings at the crack of dawn. We oscillated between these two worlds, but for the first time in years, I felt truly alive, as though new energy was coursing through me. One night, we argued fiercely. "I can't be what you want," Miller shouted. "And I can't slip into your carefree youth," I fired back. We raged at each other, tears threatening. Then, as if drawn by a magnet, we crashed into a kiss, all fury transforming into raw passion. We ended up pressed against the kitchen counter, then barely made it to bed. Every touch, every breath was a reminder that something about us was unstoppable. There's no logical explanation for our relationship. Life isn't a straight path, and I can't rationalize why Miller captivates me. He doesn't need my money, nor am I playing mother. It's just this gravitational pull, like two souls that finally collided. Maybe you'd say it's too romantic, but sometimes that's how the deepest desires work. Not by reason, but by instinct. Now, 8 months have passed. We've weathered turbulent storms. Everyone talks about us. Some mock me as the cougar. Others warn he's using me. I don't listen. My only lingering doubt is whether I'm using this passionate affair to escape reality. But am I regretful? Absolutely not. Even as I confess, I feel an excited acceptance rather than shame. Sometimes our days are pure bliss, making me feel like the happiest woman alive. Other times, we slam doors in each other's faces, only to wind up back in bed. Our fire never truly goes out. When I stay at Miller's place, surrounded by his posters, guitar, and motorcycle helmet, I know I'm in a completely different world. Yet when he takes my wrists and kisses my fingertips, I forget all doubt. I give in to him once more. If this ends tomorrow, I'll be ready. If he decides to chase new thrills elsewhere, I won't stop him. Yes, I'll be hurt, but not sorry. I've learned more from this blazing relationship than from any textbook. By plunging into passion, making choices some may call scandalous, I've discovered a piece of myself that was buried. And so, here I am, on my couch with a glass of wine, gazing into the night. I think about the chaos, the adrenaline-fueled fights, and the calm moments afterward when we just hold each other. Peace and madness in one breath. The difference in our ages, our backgrounds, none of it compares to the spark between us. That's my truth. I'm Margaret, and this is my story. And no, I don't regret it for a second.